We continue now at the top of Daf Gimel Amud Aleph and Meseches Yoma. This is Yoma Daf 3a. On the previous Amud, the Gemara had suggested that maybe the 7-day separation period should really be Shmini Atzeres. And Rav Ashi answers there's no way it's Shmini Atzeres, because if you don't have to do a separation period, you don't have to separate the Kohen Gadol for 7 days when it comes to the Avoda on Sukkot itself. So Shmini Atzeres, which is only Tafel to Sukkot, certainly not. And the Gemara says, Rav Ashi says, even according to the opinion that Shmini Atzeres is a regel b'fnei atzmo, that's only regarding certain items. But it's still, as we're going to see, it's still a tafel. As the Gemara here continues, pazar keshav. It's only considered a regel b'fnei atzmo regarding pazar keshav. That's an acronym that Rashi will explain. Avolinian tashlumin, but in terms of the halach of tashlumin, making up a carbon, let's say you didn't bring the carbon in the proper time, tashlumin de rishonhu. So Shmini Atzeres actually is a tashlumin already of the first day, meaning if you neglect to bring the carbon on the first day, you still can make it up on Shmini Atzeres. It shows that it is tafel to Sukkos. To Hatanan, as we learned in the Mishnah, Mishalo Chag b'Yom Tov Arishon Shel Chag, if somebody did not bring the carbon chagiga on the first day of Yom Tov of Sukkos, Chogeg v'holech kol haregel kulo, the person's allowed to bring it the entire regel, v'Yom Tov Acharon Shel Chag, and even on the Yom Tov Acharon Shel Chag, meaning that Yom Tov Acharon, Shmini Atzeres, is really tafel to the rest of Sukkos. That's why Rav Ashi is saying there's no way that we should learn out from the pasuk a separation period for Shmini Atzeres if you're not even doing that for Sukkos itself. And what is Pazar Keshav? Rashi over here says the pay stands for Payis Liatzmo. It's its own lottery. She'ein Payis b'Parei HaChag Eitzel HaMishmaros. Because when it comes to the paros that are brought during Chag, during Sukkot, you don't do a lottery to decide which Kohanim bring it. Shekal HaMishmaros Shonus Mishal Shlos Ben. All the Mishmaros do it. They repeat it once, twice, sometimes 3 times. Lefi Cheshben Sidron, according to the order that the Mishmaros are set up in. Kimoshe Shoninu b'Meseches Sukkah, that's what it says in Meseches Sukkah. Avol Par Shel Shmini b'Tchila Mafis Anola, but when it comes to the par of Shmini Atzeres, you do a lottery to decide who's going to bring it. Zman Liatzmo Levarich Shechiyanu. Zman means that it gets its own Shechiyanu. Regel Liatzmo She'ein Shem Chag HaSukkos Olav. Regel Liatzmo means that it's not called Sukkos. Carbon liatzmo she'ein carbano shavi l'chol shar yemos hachag. The carbon of Shmini Atzeres is not the same as the rest of Sukkot. Shekulam parim merubim ve'elim shnayim. By all of them, you bring many cows or many bulls, and you bring 2 elim v'yud dalid kevasim, and you bring 14 kevasim, 14 sheep. V'chan par echod ayil echod v'shiva kevasim. Here you do 1 par, 1 ayil, and 7 kevasim. So it's a different system of karbanos on Shmini Atzeres. Shir liatzmo shein shiro shav l'chol shar shiros yimei chag. The shir that's on Shmini Atzeres is not the same as the shiros during the rest of Sukkot. Kol shir yimei chag medaver mein gezel matnas aniyim. The song that is sung during the other days of Sukkot talks about gezel matnas aniyim. V'yosef shel chol hamoed mefurish Meseches Sukkah humbi on chol hamoed. You say it's all explained in Sukkah by the acronym humbi. V'shel Shmini Atzeres eino me'ein asif v'lo pir shalanu ezeu shiro. When it comes to Shmini Atzeres, it doesn't have to do with the asif, and we don't know exactly what the shir is, but the point is, it's not in the same category as the shiros for the other days of Sukkot. Bracha liatzmo, the base stands for bracha. What that means, according to Rashi, bracha she'mevorchin l'tfilas chai hamelech. There was a bracha they made for the king. Kedem mefarish b'tosefta de sukkah al shem b'yom hashmini shilach esa'am vayevarchu es hamelech. That's because of a story regarding Shlomo HaMelech that's in Sefer Melachim. So that's in terms of how it's independent. But Tashlumin de Rishon, again, as the Gemara said, it's a Tashlumin of the Rishon when it comes to carbon al matafel lidehu. You see that it is tafel. You can make up the carbon of the first day of Sukkot all the way through Shmini Atzeres. So in any case, therefore, it cannot be Shmini Atzeres. There's no way that when the pasuk learns from the Yemei Miluim that there's a period of separation for a holiday, there's no way it's Shmini Atzeres, again, because that's just tafel to Sukkot. So the Gemara tries another one, V'yemo Atzeres de Prishas Shiva Liyom Echadu. So maybe it's Atzeres meaning Shavuos. Maybe what the pasuk means is, just like by the Shivas Yimei Miluim, you have a 7-day separation before you have the 8th day of the Miluim. So to Shavuos, which is a 1-day yontiv, you should separate 7 days before that for the 1-day yontiv of Atzeres, of Shavuos. So the Gemara says that's also not a good comparison. Amar Rav Abba says, "Don in par echad v'ayil echad mi par echad v'ayil echad." You learn out from a situation where there's one par and one aisle from another situation where there's one par and one aisle, meaning by Yom Kippur. Again, the whole point here is to learn out to Yom Kippur. From the Yemei Miluim to Yom Kippur, they both have a situation of bringing one par and one aisle. La'afuke atzeres to shnei elim ninu, that excludes atzeres shavuos, where you bring two elim. So the Gemara says, Hanichol Amandamar Yom Kippurim Ayil Echadu. Now that all works according to the one who says Yom Kippur, you bring one aisle. El Amandamar shnei elim ninu, but what are you going to do according to the one who says that you bring two elim? Ma'ikol Amemar, what are you going to do with that opinion? The Tanya, as we learned in a brayso, Rebbe says, Ayil echad hu ha'amar kan, hu ha'amar b'chumash ha'pikudim. According to Rebbe, when it talks about the ayil over here, and it talks about the ayil in chumash ha'pikudim, meaning when it talks about the ayil in Parshas Acharei Mos, and when it talks about the ayil in Sefer Bamidbar, in Parshas Pinchas, it's the same one. In other words, there's just one ayil. So that's according to Rebbe. So according to Rebbe that there is one aisle, that's all very good. So Yom Kippur is just like the Yemei Miluim, there's one aisle. But according to Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shimon Omer, the Brisa says that Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shimon says, Shnei Elim Heim, when it comes to Yom Kippur, there are two separate rams. Echad Omer Kan, there's one ram that's said over here, meaning again in Parshas Acharei Mos, V'echad Omer b'chumash ha'pikudim, and there's another one that's said in Parshas Pinchas and Sefer Bamidbar. So what are you going to do? According to Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shimon, you have the same problem. You're saying you can't learn to Atzeres because there's Shnei Elim. So the same thing is true on Yom Kippur, according to Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shimon. There are Shnei Elim. So the Gemara says it's not the same. Afilu Tamer Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shimon. You can even say that we follow here, this limud follows Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shimon. Hazam chad lechovas hayom v'chad lemusafin. When it comes to the situation on Yom Kippur over there, that's one of the elim is brought for the chovas hayom, it's brought for the day, and the other is brought for carbon musaf. Le'afuke atzeres, that's different than atzeres, the tarvayu chovas hayom ninu, because on Shavuos, both of them are lechovas hayom. And Rashi over here explains, Hasam over there by Yom Kippur, chad lechovas hayom. One of the elim that's brought is for the chovas hayom. Meaning, Hahuda Acharei Mos, Chovas Hayom. The ayil that is mentioned in Parshas Acharei Mos, that's brought because of Yom Kippur. It's an obligation that goes along with Yom Kippur. V'yeino Karei Musaf. It's not called a Musaf, meaning it's not called an additional offering. It doesn't say by that ayil in Acharei Mos that this is besides for the regular carbon ola that's brought in the morning. That's what's written by all other musafin. Milvado lasaboker. It always says milvado lasaboker because the whole point of a carbon musaf is it's additional besides the ola saboker. The mashma zem mosif al dvar yom biyomo. The mashmo says this is an addition to what you normally bring every day. Liafuke atzeres the tarvayu chovas hayom ninu. Now that is not the same by atzeres. By atzeres, the two elim are both chovas hayom. Neither one of them is musaf. Lechova shtei halechem, because what are they coming for? They're coming for the obligation of the shtei halechem, which is a chovas hayom. Kedechsiv v'ikravtem al halechem v'gomer ve'elim shnayim. It says in the pasuk, two elim together with a lechem. Uvechovas hayom de miluim ayil echad hudave. And the same thing when it comes to the chovas hayom of the miluim, there was just one ayil, and that's the same by Yom Kippur. There's just one ayil, because the other one is considered a carbon musaf. And the Gemara continues, V'yema Rosh Hashanah. Okay, so why don't we say that maybe the separation that needs to take place again is not Yom Kippur, maybe it's Rosh Hashanah. Deprishas Shiva Yom Echadu. Because that also would be a 7-day separation for one day. That's almost the same as Yom Kippur. Why do you choose Yom Kippur and not Rosh Hashanah? So the Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Avo says, Don in Parvi Ayil Shalo, we learn out a situation where the Kohen brings a Parvi Ayil from his own property, mi Parvi Ayil Shalo, from another case where he brings the Par and Ayil from his own property. Meaning, by both the Miluim and Yom Kippur, the Par and the Ayil that are brought as Karbanas are brought from the Kohen Gadol's own personal property. La'afuke atzeres v'Rosh Hashanah, that comes to exclude Shavuos and Rosh Hashanah, the Tzibor Ninu, because there we're talking about public Karbanas. The Par v'Ayil that are brought from the public funds. Rashi over here says, done in Parva Ayil Shalo, to Miluim Mishalohu. By the Miluim he brought from his own property. It says, take for yourself an Egel. Uviyom Kippurim Nami Ika Parvi Ayil Mishalo. By Yom Kippur also, there's a par and an ayil that's brought from his own property. It says, Bezos Yavo Aaron El HaKodesh Beparvin Bokov Gomer. Lafuki Atzeres v'Rosh Hashanah. Now this is different by Atzeres and Rosh Hashanah, that Tzibor Ninu. There it's brought from the public funds. So the Gemara says, that's good according to the one who says that when the pasuk says kach l'cha, it means that he needs to bring from his own personal property, from your own property. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Gimel Amud Beis.